Good evening and welcome to the national news broadcast on Channel I. And we're ready to bring you the top stories from home and around the world. I'm Natalia Veeravardhana.
A very good evening indeed. I am Charity Prarachi, and now let's move on to the headlines for tonight's news.
The President engages in a sudden inspection tour at the Valikada prison. The government allocates 3,830 million rupees in the first stage of the program to purchase paddy of the Maha season. A crisis pertaining to the symbol of the new alliance headed by Sajith Premadasa. The President advises on the revision of university curriculum to suit the needs of the job market. The health condition of the Sri Lankans in a ship where coronavirus reports to be satisfactory.
Now the news in detail, and starting off with local stories. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa was engaged in a sudden inspection tour at the Valikada magazine prison today. It has also been reported that he has looked into the facilities of the inmates and condition of the prison.
අපි බස් කෙනෙක් ඉන්නවා මොනවා කරා මනිලා ඕලල් කියවුද ඕලල් ලියපු ඔව් මරුණාද කාව නෑ ඒක තමයි වෙලාව මරුණා මෙයා මොකටද ඈ හිරෝයින් හිලාද නැත්නම් ට්‍රැෆිකින් විකුණන කොහෙද
Attention of President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has been focused on revision of university syllabus to suit to the needs of the job market. The aim is to formulate an economy-based national education policy giving prominence to a scientific methodology and technology education on language and information. The President, at a discussion with officials of the University Grants Commission and Vice-Chancellors today, has ordered to take speedy measures to revise the university curriculum in line with the requirements of the local and foreign job market. He added that Sri Lanka has a labour force with higher intellect, which could go forward with latest technology. The President further said that there are a large number of job opportunities in the fields of medicine, engineering, nursing and information technology. But it is a serious problem of the universities not accommodating to produce skilled personnel in these fields. The President also said that a speedy progress could be obtained by providing tertiary education facilities to students who qualifying the advanced level examination. The President has also stressed the need to set up a national education policy which does not change with the change of governments and ministers. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa said that education through liberalism is extremely important. He said that most are looking for jobs and that they should be prepared for such employment. He added that world's highest competitive universities are located in India. He further said that our prospective job seekers should be given training on the most important jobs in the economy.
නමුත් විශාල ප්‍රමාණයක් ඉන්නේ අවසානයේදී දැන් රැකියාවක් බලාපොරොත්තු වෙමින් දැන් අපිට පේනවනේ දැන් මේ එන ඔක්කොම කව් කරගෙන එනකොට ඒගොල්ලෝ රැකියාවක් බලාගෙන ඉන්නේ. ඉතින් ඒ රැකියාවකට අපි ඒගොල්ලෝ සූදානම් කරමු මොනවා වුණත් ඇත්තටම අපි ඉන්දියාවට ඉස්සර hina වෙනවා. ඩිග්‍රී එක දෙනවා කඩ කාමර වල කියලා. නමුත් ඒකින්ද තමයි අද ඒගොල්ලෝ ඒ තැනට ඇවිල්ලා තියෙන්නේ. දැන් ඒගොල්ලන් අද මේ තැනට ලෝකේ තියෙන හොඳම විශ්වවිද්‍යාල තියෙන්නේ ඇත්තටම කම්පිටිෂන් එක වැඩි MIT එක නෙවෙයි IIT එක ඉන්දියාවේ. ඒකට තමයි කම්පිටිෂන් එක වැඩිම විශ්වවිද්‍යාලය ලෝකේ. ඉතින් හැබැයි ඒ තැනට ගෙන ඇවිල්ලා තියෙන්නේ මේ එක පහු කරගෙන. ඉතින් අපි විවිධ මත ඉදිරිපත් කරලා මේව කරලා අපි මේක මේ අර්බුදයකට මෙහුණ පාලා තියෙනවා. මේක තමයි අපිට මිස් වෙච්ච තැන. අපි මේ ස්පෙෂලයිස් ලෝකයේ මාකට් එකේ ආර්ථිකයේ වැදගත් වන රැකියාවන්ට පුහුණු කරන්නේ නැහැ අපි. ඉතින් ඒ පුහුණු කිරීමට අපි
The delegation comprising Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa, currently engaged in a state visit in India, has performed religious observances in Buddha Gaya today. The Prime Minister is engaged in the official tour on an invitation extended by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The group headed by the Prime Minister has visited the sacred place of Buddhist worship and other historical places in Saranath yesterday. The Prime Minister has first arrived at the Saranath Museum and thereafter the Migadaya sacred location in Isipatana, where the Lord Buddha had delivered his first Dhamma sermon. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa has also visited the Mulagandhakuti Viharaya and engaged in religious observances and received blessings.
There are remains of what is
The Sri Lankan Prime Minister has also met Sri Lankan nationals living in India. They have warmly welcomed the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister and the representatives have watched Ganga Nadi, which the Indian people treat with reverence this morning. 40% of the Indian population live along this river. The Sri Lankan Prime Minister has commended the conservation program titled Namami Gange, commenced by the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi to purify the river. Thereafter, the Prime Minister has arrived at the Buddha Gaya Viharaya. He was warmly received upon arrival at the Gaya airport this morning. The Prime Minister was engaged in religious observances at the Mahabodhi Viharaya and conducted an amicable discussion with the bhikkhus of the Viharaya and a group of Sri Lankan devotees. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa was engaged in visiting cultural and religious places after concluding diplomatic level talks in New Delhi. The Prime Minister is scheduled to tour Tirupati tomorrow morning. Thereafter, he is scheduled to return to the island, ending his state tour.
And meanwhile, the day 10th of February 2018 is regarded as restoration of democracy deprived to the masses upon rolling out the electoral map for 2 years. This day also marks the completion of 2 years of the people voting for the resumption of stalled regional development. A threat of disintegration of anti-UNP forces had arisen with the defeat of the 2015 presidential election. It had become a need of progressive movement to regroup the people's power into a single camp. A new political movement has commenced from the ground level to fulfill this objective. Accordingly, appointment of representatives covering every Gram Seva division has commenced in 2017. The political stage of the rival groups' talks were centered on take, however, revenge in the event of the inauguration of a new political party. However, the threats had failed to stall the forward march of the progressive political movement. The Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna has concluded the biggest major rally in the Sri Lankan history on the Goldface Green by displaying the fact that it could win any election. The victorious political path of the SLPP got underway with the setting up of central committees covering every electorate. Founder of the party, Basil Rajapaksa, has remained the gallant character behind all these developments. 10th of February 2018 was a date that changed the future of the country. The voters of Sri Lanka had placed a cross in front of the symbol Pohatua in their ballot papers on this day for local government elections. The Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna was the victor of the poll, securing power in 331 local government bodies. This was 85% of the entire local government institutions. In places such as Mayangane and Tirupane, even independent groups had won the support of the Podujana Peramuna. The first people-based political party in history has been created to give national leadership to their candidates of the party. Political commentators believe that the local government poll was the precursor for a fresh political movement, changing the course of the Sri Lankan political party. The victory was also considered as a significant juncture in world politics.
Minister Bandula Gunawardena says that there is a conspiration force to destabilize the national university system. The minister was addressing a media briefing at the Government Information Department today. Minister Bandula Gunawardena says that they should look compassionately on the problems of the students without repressing them. He also said that fraudulent groups use different tactics to take hold of the skills of trained labour. They are conducting fairs at the BMICH premises to collect students. The minister further said that the previous government has not provided appropriately the necessary financial allocations to pay salaries in the Open University. He added that they will make measures to rectify the situation. Minister Bandula Gunawardena said that the government pays the salaries of the staff, including vice-chancellors of all higher educational institutes, including the Open University. The government spends 2,000 million rupees for payment of salaries, but only 1,600 million rupees were provided last year. It was the previous government which has introduced the practice of creating salary areas, and there was a shortfall of 330 million rupees in the payment of salaries to university lecturers in 2018. In the year 2019, a discrepancy of 600 million rupees has been reported.
And meanwhile, Minister Danas Alahaperuba says the government has taken necessary measures to address the identified gaps and challenges in the existing education system to provide an equal opportunity for education to all social segments in the country. He made these remarks while addressing the International Summit on Balanced and Inclusive Educational in Djibouti.
Newly elected President of Sri Lanka, His Excellency Gotabaya Rajapaksa, is well aware of the challenges in our education system. He has already pledged to implement inclusive education concept in an effective manner by allocating required resources, making legal provisions and policy changes to address the already identified gaps, aiming education for all a reality at ground level in the coming years in order to make children with disabilities equal partners in the national development in our country. There are special concerns on inclusive education that Sri Lanka is currently addressing since the ending of 30 years terrorist war in the year 2009 is the damage that has happened to human life during that, especially in the war-torn areas, which is the unforgettable sight of disability, repressed, slow learning, etc. The influence on the communities who have been directly impacted by the war is more prevalent than in the rest of Sri Lanka. The government of Sri Lanka has taken many efforts to mitigate such situations, and the development partners have also helped in establishing special interventions and taking formidable action to overcome such limitations. In the war-zone areas, the time taken to effectively adapt inclusive education and normalize is expected to be slightly higher than other areas. As a government, we are sensitized to these prevailing situations and proactive attempts put in progress to mitigate these situations going forward.
And now on the new coronavirus, the Sri Lankan embassy in Japan says the 2 Sri Lankan nationals in the luxury passenger line with corona-infected patients anchored at the Yokohama harbour in Japan are reported to be in excellent health. More than 130 persons in the ship have already been afflicted with the coronavirus. The worldwide deaths due to corona infection has increased to 910. 908 deaths were reported from China. The highest number of deaths of 97 recorded in a day was reported yesterday. 40,234 infected persons have been detected throughout the world. The disease has spread to 27 countries. The Chinese Foreign Ministry says 27 foreigners in China were also infected. More than 3,200 persons have fully recovered and left the hospitals. The number of infected patients in the ship Diamond Princess anchored at Yokohama has increased to 130 from 64 today. There are 2,660 passengers and the crew of 1,045 in the ship. Deputy Ambassador of the Sri Lankan Embassy in Japan, Chandana Veerasena, said that he is maintaining constant contacts with the 2 Sri Lankans who are part of the crew of the ship. He further said that they were not infected and there is no problem with them. Investigations are being conducted regarding 178 suspected coronavirus infected persons in selected hospitals, including the Infectious Disease Institute in Angoda. It has been established that majority of them were not infected and many have left the hospital. However, tests are being conducted on 18 patients. The Chinese female national who was infected is now fully cured. However, date of her discharge has not yet been decided. Specialist physician Dr. Sudat Samravira says none of those who have returned from Wuhan is showing characteristics of the disease.
We have a success story at the moment, and we hope that the authorities will maintain the success, especially by having special attention on the quarantine measures, especially with regard to the people who are returning from the high-risk areas. Even outside the Wuhan, there are several other high-risk areas, especially within China, several other provinces. Therefore, we urge the authorities to consider the disease nature within China and especially the disease pattern within other provinces outside the Hubei province, and taken special precautions regarding quarantine measures for those persons, especially having special centers with facilities for the quarantine facility. And on the other hand, the isolation rooms, we have asked the authorities to look into the possibility of having negative pressure isolation rooms, especially with the WHO standards, so that the disease can be controlled effectively. On the other hand, the biosafety laboratory facilities to be ensured to maintain the satisfactory levels of the biosafety within the laboratory. And on the other hand, we urge the authorities to educate the public continuously so that the people will be ready to face any sort of emergencies in the future. Those are the main things we have emphasized to the authorities regarding the future control of the disease, and we as a GMOA will be ready to ensure any support to the government authorities, including the health authority, to counter the coronavirus infection in the future also.
And a crisis has erupted over the symbol of the new alliance to be formed under the leadership of Sajith Premadasa. A UNP working committee meeting has ended today without any final agreement on this issue. The working committee met at the Sirikota party headquarters around 4 p.m. The name of Ranjit Madhuma Bandara was named for the post of Secretary of the Alliance. No objections were raised in this regard. Majority of the members were of the view that the alliance should contest the general election under the elephant symbol. Ranjit Madhuma Bandara has requested not to control the powers vested with Sajith Premadasa. MP Ranjit Madhuma Bandara said the only minor problems have arisen, that they will make arrangements to resolve them in the next 2 days. He added that the opposition leader has talked on the manner of the forming of the alliance. The MP further said that Sajith Premadasa has requested over all leadership in the alliance to be formed and left the meeting.
A media briefing of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna was held in Colombo today. Opinions were expressed on this occasion on the new alliance of the United National Party. State Minister Rohithabaya Gunawardena says that by now there is a severe crisis within the UNP. He added that one faction of the party says that they want to be in the new alliance and to contest under a new symbol. Symbol of the UNP is elephant. The symbol swan has left the scene. State Minister Rohithabya Gunawardena said that they believe the best symbol for them is crane. He further said that those who were connected to the Easter attack, bond scam and other serious frauds are attempting to build this alliance.
Information is being revealed on the inappropriation and accumulation of assets by former Minister Rishad Badruddin during the previous regime. Minister Vimal Veeravancha has disclosed facts in this regard at a media briefing today. Minister Vimal Veeravancha said that the stock of documents were found in the politician's house in search conducted according to information received by the CID. The minister further said that among the documents found were 227 copies of deeds written in the name of Rishad Badruddin. He further said that 8 original deeds were also found. The CID has also received a large number of documents pertaining to the frauds committed through the Sadhasa under the previous regime. Minister Vimal Veeravancha also said that during the period of the 52-day government, $100,000 were credited to US account of Badruddin. The CID, upon suspicion, looked into the issue that halted transactions. The minister also said that they wanted to request the CID and IGP to find out how he had received this money.
World-renowned scholar on peace and conflict studies, Senior Professor Peter Wallenstein says the world is facing challenges of increasing violent conflicts and minimal attention of settlements. He further said that the countries find the ways of handling conflicts, and constructive conflicts will provide a great strength to the progress of the society. Special lecture, Quality Peace, Trends and Challenges in Conflicts and Peace Building, was delivered by Senior Professor Peter Wallenstein of Uppsala University in Sweden recently. The event was organized by the Department of International Relations of University of Colombo under the patronage of Head of the Department, Dr. Manisha Vanasinghe Pascual. The Dean of the Faculty of Arts, Senior Professor Premakumara De Silva, and many scholars were present on this occasion.
I'm really happy that Colombo University having a very important MOU together with this reputed university, Uppsala. And generally our faculty, we have several MOUs signed with other European universities like Gießen and other places, you see like Edinburgh and London School of Economics. We have Australian universities and other American universities. I think this particular MOU is very, very important. It was signed by way back in 2017 in order to sort of facilitate scholarly work together with colleagues in Uppsala as well as this Colombo University.
It is a great pleasure of having Senior Professor Peter Wallenstein, one of the leading experts in peace studies. And just tell us about the trends in peace studies.
What we have seen in the last few years is a rise in the number of armed conflicts and wars, and also that they have become more complicated by international interventions on one or the other side rather than interventions to find solutions. In fact, we find that the number of peace agreements have been going down, so it means we are facing a situation with increasing conflict and less efforts to deal with them. And so I think that's a big challenge for us in peace studies. What is the final message as a person who is loving peace in the international arena? That we need more people who love peace, but also does it in a constructive way, saying that yes, we have conflicts, they can be identified. We need to find ways of handling them in such a way that it becomes good for the society, not that conflicts become destructive. Because good conflicts, constructive conflicts, are useful. It's important to speak your opinion and be allowed to do it, because that helps the society forward.
Specialist physician Dr. Uday Uskudarachi says that there is severe threat of youth under the age of 35 years who consume varieties of alconuts to get themselves intoxicated of being afflicted with oral cancer. Around 38 deaths are being reported daily in Sri Lanka due to cancer. Oral cancer is common among males. Cancer is regarded as irregular growth of cells, and 17 people die throughout the world every minute as a result of this menace. The major factors that attribute to the affliction of the cancer disease are identified as smoking, consumption of narcotics and liquor, not engaging in exercises, consumption of unhealthy foods and mental unrest. And in Sri Lanka, 23,000 new cancer patients are detected every year. The total cancer-related deaths in Sri Lanka in a year is around 14,000. However, doctors say that 1/3 of cancer deaths could be prevented. These facts were revealed at a media briefing at the Health Promotion Bureau today. Specialist physician Dr. Uday Uskudarachi says that an increase of cancer among those consuming betel, coconuts and tobacco has been reported. Most of the oral cancer patients are above 35 years of age. According to clinical surveys, the number of those afflicted with cancer is increasing. A 3-member panel of Colombo High Court judges has declared that the order on the objections to annul the revised charge sheet against chairman of the avant-garde company Nisanka Senadipati and 8 other accused will be delivered on the 20th of this month. The charge sheet with 882 accusations was presented by the Attorney General. The order has been delivered by the panel comprising Justices Dhammika Ganepala, Aditya Patabendige and Manjula Tilakaratna. The case had been filed against 13 suspects and chairman of the avant-garde on charges of keeping in illegal possession of firearms and ammunition in a ship at sea closer to the Galle harbour. Altogether, 7,573 charges had been filed. The panel of judges have accepted the preliminary objections presented by the accused, but has pointed out that only 19 charges could be maintained. 5 of the suspects were ordered to be released. Accordingly, the Attorney General has redrafted a revised charge sheet with 882 charges against 8 suspects, including the chairman of the avant-garde company. This has sought permission to recall the 5 freed suspects back into the case. Further hearings have commenced in the Colombo High Court today on the case filed by the Attorney General against parliamentarian Namal Rajapaksa and 6 accused against charges of committing an offence under the Act of Money Laundering. They were charged with the offence of investigating a sum of 30 million rupees of inappropriately earned money in the Gowers Corporate Company. The chairman of the Joel Construction Company, A.J. Silvanayagam, has given evidence as a witness of the plaintiff. He said that parliamentarian Namal Rajapaksa had requested a sum of 50 million rupees for the Chogam seminar in 2013 and that he had given him 30 million rupees. However, he has acknowledged that he does not have in his possession any written evidence to prove the handing of the money. Further hearings have been postponed till the 12th of this month. And now on weather. The Met Department says that a temporary increase of showery and windy condition is expected from tomorrow, and several spells of showers may occur in the eastern, central and Uva provinces and in Hambantota, Polonnaruwa and Mullaitivu districts. The Met Department further indicated that showers or thunder showers may occur at a few places in western and Sabaragama provinces and in Galle and Matara districts after 2 p.m. Wind speed can increase up to 40 to 50 km per hour at times in northern, eastern, north central and southern provinces and in Monoragala districts.
And with that, we conclude tonight's news. Do it just tomorrow at the very same time.
Good night.